July 29th, and I'm Mark Friedman, just an American citizen. Another hot, humid day out, but what do you expect in the summer, right? No notes, no sense, and please subscribe. I want to make it clear, and I always do it. We don't seem to be seeing it that much in the polls, but I love this country. This is still the greatest country in the world as far as I'm concerned, at least the West is. And you have to wonder, why are all these people trying to come here? Most people don't want to leave, only the rich people if they're afraid, because they got the money to go somewhere else to have a tax haven. But why do most people want to come to this country? Because it's a great country, because they know what they're leaving. And it's about time we started understanding what we've got. And we've had today, it looks like, some really major bipartisanship. And after having bipartisanship between the Republicans and Democrats, the Wall Street Journal and Fox sure ain't news. Is like going, what are you doing? But let's get to the good news first. Let's do some music because I got psyched. Talked about this before. Spirit, the 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. You don't see this stuff anymore. 1970, I think this was 1970. I think it was after Tommy. Music was just exploding. From Janis had died, Hendrix had died, Morrison had died, I think, and Otis Redding had died, and things just started changing and going out onto its own. Monterey, Woodstock, and then music just took off on a third stage. This album was one of the greatest albums of all time. Jazzy, rocky, and the lead guitarist, Randy California, learned and played with Hendrix. In fact, I read that Hendrix named him Randy California because he knew two Randys. Either way, you got to listen to this album. Morning with Mr. Skin, Mr. Skin. Everybody, man, growing up, this is all you listened to, and it just went on and on. It didn't sell that well. Nature's way. It's nature's way of telling you something's wrong. 1970. That's what happened. Listen to this album. Turn it on. Turn it up. Sit back. Listen to it. None of the other stuff. Just the original album. You're going to love it. This is one of the greatest rock albums of all time. It soothes the savage soul. Why am I feeling so good today? We've had the CHIPS Act pass. I don't know if you saw about the CHIPS Act, but we're going to be putting money into semiconductors here in America. In America. Which is going to be great. And when it looks like Senator Manchin and the other Democrats have gotten together, and it looks like with some Republicans, I think, may come through with it. We're putting together a climate, energy, and a tax bill. So it'll be deflationary. It takes 15% minimum tax on major corporations. Wow, you're supposed to be all upset about that. Some of the Republicans are. And we get to put some real money into research and looking into things and be able to move forward with climate. Hopefully we're going to be able to put major money into the batteries. You know, I've been talking about this for how many years and getting yelled at. This is where the money is. This is where we should be going. Batteries, don't do the old stuff. We need a Manhattan Project. That's what this looks like may be starting to do. Put that money in because we need it for our defense to come together. Because look what's going on out there. And this is what I've been telling you. When I started saying, I'm shaking you. I said this, back in February? It's Cold War 2.0, okay? You think the Chinese aren't helping the Russians? They keep shutting down. They have 4 people had coronavirus, supposedly, so they shut down a major area. So there's no more manufacturing, there's nothing. The CCP doesn't care about their people. They just don't care, the Chinese Communist Party. They just want to control them. They're like Putin, who just throws his guys out and lets them all die just to be Peter the what? So that's what's going on. And to sit back and think that these people are not coming after us, remember where we are in this world. There's a whole bunch of neutrals who don't really like us, meaning the West, and would take anything from us they can and will do whatever they can to get things cheaper from Russia and China because Russia and China is against us. And then, of course, we have Russia and China against us. So we've got to be in a position where we are putting our money into our own future, our own technology. And if it means that there's got to be some stuff that goes in, hey, the government puts it in, so what? It happened in World War II. It happened with the Manhattan Project, right? It happened with NASA, Tang. I didn't like Tang too much. But Tang and all the technology that came out of NASA. all the businesses will grow out of this. Private enterprise will do well, but we need to germinate it, make it happen. And this is what's going on. So what do you read on Fox Sure Ain't News or listen there in the Wall Street Journal? This is horrible. This is horrible. Why are the Republicans doing this? I think you had like 16 Republicans coming on board the CHIPS deal. They're coming on because it's good for the country, Wall Street Journal and Fox, because you sure ain't news. You always hear about bipartisanship. It looks like there's some real bipartisanship coming on. Our leaders see the problem we've got out there and are starting to deal with it. And what happens? The super right wing, they can't get out of their own way, and they sit there and they go, private enterprise, and this is horrible, but save it. Don't do it now. Wait till later because you need it for negotiations. That's what they're saying, calling them dupes. Being out-negotiated. Really? You're telling me that there's good things that are happening to this country because our leaders got together in a bipartisan way and did it, that they're being duped? I say let's get them duped all the time because it's actually starting to come together and people are starting to see in our leadership what has to be done. Quit talking all this BS over there, Fox Sure Ain't News. And you guys read what the Journal said today. Everybody's complaining about this. Bipartisanship, isn't that what you want? You got it. Let's move forward. This is going great. This is really good news for this country. Forget all the BS they're throwing at you. This is good news. Peace.